Hello, good afternoon. So nice to be the speaker right after lunch. Are you feeling good? You got your water in front of you. You're ready for an afternoon of a feast of ideas, and I'm thrilled to be here to speak with you. Senator, Deputy Governor, and distinguished members of the banking community, it's an absolute pleasure to be with you in Karachi today. My special thanks to Zafar Masood, Chairman of the Pakistan Banking Association and President and CEO of the Bank of Punjab, for inviting me to speak at your second Pakistan Banking Summit. Now, may I say the annual Banking Summit? Sir, the annual Banking Summit. Fantastic. I'd also like to recognize Arslan Khan. Where are you? Right there. Arslan, our country manager of Pakistan and Afghanistan, right there. You can see him, he's got his hand up. Mastercard has played an absolutely integral role in developing Pakistan's domestic payment ecosystem for more than 3 decades. And under the guidance of the State Bank of Pakistan, we are very proud to partner with more than 40 banks, fintechs, merchants, and public sector entities. Mastercard is very proud to digitize Pakistan's economy in order to deliver on its enormous potential and support the acceleration of your hard work. Every single person in this room should realize that the reason that they're here today is because they are a leader, they can be a leader, and they must continue to be a leader in this country's evolution. And certainly Mastercard is going to do its part. Your economy is the 5th largest in the world by population, and yet it is still operating the vast majority of its transactions in cash. We want to help move Pakistan, as the Senator and the Minister of Finance explained this morning, from stabilization to sustainable growth and digitization alongside financial inclusion. Before I joined Mastercard, I spent 20 years of my career in public service as a trade negotiator, as the Assistant Deputy Minister of Finance in the Treasury Department of the Federal Government of Canada, and most recently as Canada's ambassador to the European Union, where we concluded our free trade agreement. And yes, I have negotiated with the United States, and you can catch me at the coffee break for tips. That Treasury and diplomatic work around the world gave me a very particular and a very specific worldview. And I learned to look for the shared interests before we do a transaction, and to build our relationship before we talk about the deal. So when I look at a room like this, of central bankers, of leaders of Pakistan's issuing institutions, and the leaders of your economy and society, the founders shaping the next country giants in industry and in fintechs, I feel that I'm amongst the best partners possible. And that's the spirit in which I hope to speak to you this afternoon. There are 3 things I'd like to touch on in my remarks. First, a few reflections on what me and my team has seen in the progress in Pakistan's payments. And second, the partnership already taking place here through Mastercard's work with your financial ecosystem. And finally, 3 ideas for our next steps, where we might go from here together. So we'll talk progress, we'll talk partnership, and we'll talk potential. So first of the 3, progress. On progress, the impressions that I have formed here in Pakistan, and ones that I suspect leaders in this room well understand, is that in my work, I've watched many countries pursue the future of digital payments. And few of them are now moving with the clarity, the conviction, and the institutional strength that I've seen here today. There's a very special alignment happening in Pakistan here in 2026. Under the leadership of the State Bank, Pakistan has built RAST into the most consequential piece of national digital public infrastructure, and indeed one of the most consequential in the region and in the emerging world. It's a nationally owned system that moves money instantaneously between people, businesses, and government. And alongside it, a deliberate national strategy that carries the great majority of retail transactions onto digital rails, with the ambition to make Pakistan a largely cashless economy in a matter of years, not decades. I've witnessed many countries that have set that same goal, with whom me and my team partner. I'd love to speak more about our team's work in countries such as Mexico, Ukraine, the UAE, Saudi, Egypt, Turkey, China, and of course our global headquarter market, the United States, with you and with my team when we meet. What sets Pakistan apart is that the infrastructure, the policy resolve, and the institutional credibility to reach your goals are already in place. Our role as Mastercard, as we see it, is to build alongside what you in this room have created. We want to help carry and extend your efforts further than any single institution could reach on its own. And there's a consistent pattern that I've seen almost everywhere in the world, and that is when the public sector provides trusted digital infrastructure and reliable, consistent regulation, and the private sector builds on top of this and brings world-class innovation to your local market, adoption grows, and it can grow exponentially. For us at Mastercard, financial inclusion also sits at the very heart of how we think about digitization and growth. Over the past decade, we've helped bring over 1 billion people and more than 65 million small businesses globally into the digital economy. And we've made a new commitment, and that commitment is to connect and protect a further 500 million people around the world and small businesses on their route to financial health by 2030. Pakistan is one of those markets where that Mastercard global commitment matters the most, and where I believe it is being meaningfully realized. So, I've talked about potential. Now let's talk about partnership. On partnership, remittances are a great place to begin. They account for nearly 8% of this country's GDP, a figure that speaks both to macroeconomic stability and the millions of families that rely on remittances arriving here in Pakistan safely, securely, and on time. Today, Mastercard is the 4th largest processor of inward remittances to Pakistan. We hold that as a great responsibility, one we intend to keep earning alongside you and the state bank in bringing those flows into formal, transparent channels. In other similar markets where remittances play a large part of the economy, we have enabled Mastercard Send and special diaspora Send initiatives, which seamlessly send remittances from Pakistanis living abroad to cards and accounts here in Pakistan. Next week, our regional team from Mastercard Move Solutions will be here in the market and engaging with all of you to facilitate our innovative means to enhance more inward remittances. Small businesses and farmers also form the backbone of this economy and are another example of Mastercard's work on financial inclusion. Working with the Bank of Punjab, we have helped more than 850,000 small farmers, soon to be 1 million, and small businesses access digital payments and with them the formal economy. And as a result, you now have over 850,000 businesses that are visible to credit, data, and the possibility of growth. And one of the things that I'm most excited about bringing to this market are even more tools and solutions that help individuals and small businesses, what I call ladder up from government support programs into credit programs that are totally financed by the private sector. And indeed, in Canada, we have fantastic examples of our small business bank working with our private sector to do just that. So I was thrilled to see the presentations this morning on extending private credit and the increase of credit, including to SMEs and exporters that are SMEs. This is absolutely essential to your plan. The daily rhythm of cities is another place in which Mastercard is engaged, and our work to digitize transit across Punjab, Sindh, and Peshawar is designed to touch the lives and digitize more than 5 million passengers daily. Our transit partnership with the Bank of Punjab is now live. It's a start with 300 buses in Lahore, Multan, and Rawalpindi, and will enable 1,500 buses and 13 cities within 12 months. Let me also touch on OneLink. In 2023, Mastercard partnered with OneLink to become the first network to enable more than 14 million domestic cards for e-commerce acceptance through Mastercard Payment Gateway Services, or MPGS. We've also launched the Mastercard PayPack co-badge debit card, also a first, with Faisal Bank and recently with National Bank of Pakistan, with many more to come shortly. We're also looking to enable OneLink with remittances through the Mastercard network later this year as well. So Pakistan's banking sector has built domestic rails, the state bank has enabled a national instant payment system, and our contribution is to extend your reach into cross-border acceptance, into global e-commerce, and into new markets where we are well placed to serve you. In doing so, we will help carry Pakistan's infrastructure out onto the world stage. One more example in digital assets and in crypto. We are acquiring BVNK, the largest stablecoin purchase to date in the crypto industry. This will enable us to bridge fiat and blockchain-based stablecoin across Mastercard's global network. We've also co-created Open Standard, a consortia-led stablecoin network based in the US for OpenUSD. And this provides a scalable, low-cost digital token. We look forward to partnering with your regulator and our local partners to enable you here in Pakistan to take advantage of our capabilities. I'd also like to speak about the Mastercard Center for Inclusive Growth. Through our work on Strive Women and with our local partner CARE, we've reached thousands of women entrepreneurs across Pakistan. Nearly 70,000 women have received training and/or direct lending support, with more than $72 million in financing channeled through our partners. Behind every single one of those numbers is a woman building a business, providing for her family, and strengthening this economy from the ground up. And I would like to take just a moment to recognize all of the women leaders in this room, and I was thrilled to hear that you're bringing more women onto your board. Well done. I know every organization gets smarter when there's women involved, so that's why I'm particularly excited. The Strive Women program that Mastercard runs signals one of the great economic opportunities that we see in Pakistan, bringing women into the formal economy. We all know everyone's working incredibly hard in the informal economy, but now it's time to give women the wage that they deserve. Pakistan has one of the largest opportunities anywhere in the world to bring more women into the digital economy through accounts, mobile services, and programs, all built around their needs. And when women take part, what we know for sure about development is that children are better off, they become better educated, and households are healthier, and communities grow stronger. So Strive Women is where Mastercard has begun in Pakistan, and there's a great deal more that we can do together. That leads me to my final theme, the potential we see in Pakistan. Having spoken about where we are today and our partnership, let me now turn to where we can go next. Considering that so much of the infrastructure that's essential to our partnership is already in place, our opportunity ahead is to turn this into what we call everyday habits. Everyday habits that have to change from cash to digital, and to do this at scale. So I'd like to talk about 3 quick ideas for us to think about together, and we can workshop these with our team. We want to be part of this discussion in between the summits. And with you and fintechs that are here today, we will work incredibly hard because we believe that this next chapter must be written by all of us in this room. So the first is acceptance. Pakistan has, to a remarkable degree, already made the shift to digital person-to-person payments, so P2P payments. The frontier now for all of us in this room is acceptance at point of sale, is the merchant. It's the small shop, it's the rural retailer, the everyday trader, and reaching them is a question of acceptance economics, of credit, trust, and reach. This happens to be the very challenge that we at Mastercard have spent 60 years working through in other markets, and we will be glad to put that experience behind Pakistan's national agenda interoperably and on top of the domestic national rails that you have already built. The second area is data and credit. Millions of people are now visible on digital rails. And for the first time, this holds the promise of what I like to call a credit revolution, and I believe that credit revolution has to happen globally. It can only happen if data can move responsibly. So I'd invite us to make progress on data sharing frameworks that protect consumers while enabling credit and risk decisions to reach people in the formal system that you are now able to see and gather additional data points on. Banks, fintechs, and regulators are designing this together side by side, and we want to be your co-creation partner. My third and final thought is about trust and resilience. As more of the economy moves onto real-time rails, the security of those rails becomes a matter of national resilience as much as commercial confidence. And it was very interesting to hear the Senator and Minister of Finance talk this morning, particularly about cyber. Cybersecurity, cyber protection, fraud intelligence, and the ability to keep payments running through disruption are considerations best addressed together, and it's where a partner like Mastercard could be most useful. One example I could share with you is our constant work with the cyber resilience centers in the Emirates and Saudi throughout the latest crisis. where Mastercard has proven the strength of having options, both national and international, in order to settle payments, to make a 24/7, always-on payment settlement system. To share another global example, we're also partnering deeply with Singapore and MAS, where we work alongside the police force and the Global Anti-Scam Alliance, sharing analysis and coordinating action to protect consumers from fraud across borders. For Pakistan, we'd like to bring that same commitment to help innovation and oversight move forward seamlessly and effectively. I'm thrilled to share that Mastercard and our wholly owned cyber entity, Recorded Future, are holding an intelligence roadshow here in Karachi on July 14th and in Islamabad on July 16th. And I'd encourage all of you in this room to send someone from your team to learn more about what a world-leading cyber threat assessment and cyber protection and fraud prevention system looks like. Please do join us. As part of my role at Mastercard, one of my jobs is to ensure that Pakistan's priorities are heard clearly within our global conversations, in how we direct investment, in how we shape policy, and how we tell your country's story to the rest of the world. And I take that responsibility very seriously with Arslan and our whole team here in Pakistan. What I've seen in the numbers that I've shared here this afternoon, both the partnership, the potential, the future of our relationship, is that our work is already very much well underway, with a national institution setting an ambitious course, with issuers and fintechs ready to carry it forward, and with a great deal of room still to grow. And we would be honored to grow it with you. Thank you.